Hello and welcome to our very first episode of Heard It Here. I'm Kaylee Mason, your host and beef advocate. This podcast is all about sharing valuable information about the beef industry from pasture to plate. We will talk about cattle, the people who raise them, consumers and producers, and why beef matters to all of us. Since this is our kickoff episode, I thought it'd be appropriate to have on the person who knows our beef program the best, Adelaide Klein. We're very excited to have you with us today.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. We're excited to have you on our very first episode. To start, can you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and your role in the beef program, what got you interested in it, and why you like beef production in the first place?
Sure. So I grew up in the seed stock operation. We raised registered Black Angus. So we had our own production sale every spring. We would sell our females, and then we would sell our bulls in the Gardner Angus Ranch sale in April. So we were cooperators with the Gardners, and when I was growing up, I loved being out at the ranch. I loved helping. It was very freeing to me. I didn't know if I wanted to make it a career or not. Then I went to college at Oklahoma State University, studied animal science business, got a minor in ag econ, and then my last semester there I did an internship at Gardner Angus Ranch. And there I met many connections. Mark Gardner became my mentor, and that's where I solidified my love for the beef industry and that I wanted to be in the beef industry in some form or fashion. I love every aspect of it. So after my internship at the Gardners, I went to South Dakota State University and got my master's in animal science, beef reproduction and physiology. And from there, while I was a graduate student, I had to do a teaching assistantship. So that's where I got the teaching involvement and experience. Before I didn't know I wanted to teach. I didn't think I had what it took to teach. And that's where I fell in love with it. So I once I graduated, I stumbled upon the Colby Community College beef program director job listing. I was like, oh, okay, Western Kansas, that's great. Kind of totally random from my background. I grew up in Northeast Kansas. So closest I ever was to this area was Ashland, Kansas, which is 3.5 hours away, so not too bad. So saw this job listing, and really I just felt called to be here from God. I think it was a really good job opportunity for me. It's kind of the best of both worlds, where I get to be a mentor to students and guide them, help them learn more about the beef industry, and then also get to be in charge of our beef herd. So it's a pretty awesome job and exciting for me to have the opportunity to be in this position. This is going into my 4th year right now. So,
about the beef program, how would you describe the beef production program to someone who's never heard of it? And what about the CCC beef program is unique?
Sure. So I would say the most unique thing about the beef production program at Colby Community College is our farm. We own our farm. It's about 60 acres. We own all of our animals. We have both a spring and a fall calving herd. That in itself sets us apart from other colleges, definitely community colleges. It provides students in my program a lot of hands-on experience. So anything that needs to happen on a working operation, my students are going to have a hand in. And not only that, but they're going to have enough repetition in order to be able to be confident in their abilities to do it in the future. So just thinking about my education at Oklahoma State, I love Oklahoma State. And I played soccer there, so I wouldn't change that background, my educational path at all. But just looking at the education in itself, my students are getting a way broader education than I got because they got the hands-on experience. When we had labs, only got one chance to practice a certain skill, whereas my students are going to get many repetitions and they're going to become skilled in it. So I'd say that's the most beneficial part about this program. We also do a lot of really cool things within our program. So one of my classes, we go on a few tours, an Intro to Beef Production class, where students get to pick which different segments within the beef industry that they like to go on. And we pick maybe the top two and go there. So we've gone to National Beef Packing Plant. We've gone to a couple seed stock operations, a couple cow-calf operations, some feed yards. We're in feed yard country, so there's a lot of options there. So that is really nice for students because they get to learn about other operations and how they run things, how they manage certain areas, and they can take that information back to their family operation or a future operation, whether it's good or bad, like, oh, I want to implement this, or no, I'm glad we do it the way we do it at home. A class we just started last year was a beef industry tour, and that is more so outside of the state of Kansas. So last year we went to Texas. We'll have a talk on that later on, but it was a really cool experience. We got to see, and the idea of that class is to open your eyes to something outside of Kansas, because most students leave their little bubble. So it opens up their eyes to different management styles, different job opportunities, and kind of see how a little bit of the outside world a little. So it's nice. We also have a bowl sale every year, and that's the most exciting day at the beef unit. There's a lot of hard work that goes into running a bowl test. So bowls come in November. They come in as weaning age, so about 600 pounds, hopefully a little bit more. And they will be on GrowSafe systems, and my students will put them on a grow test, and we will collect data on them throughout the whole test. There'll be different breeds, so they get to learn about how different breeds, the temperament of different breeds, and then also how they grow. And then we do multiple things to put on a production sale. So we have a picture day, video day, clipping and torching. We do breed and soundness exams, carcass ultrasounding. There's a lot of things that go into putting on a production sale. And growing up, putting on a production sale every year versus managing it, it's much different. My dad would tell me what to do, and I didn't really know why we were doing it or in the ins and outs. A lot of my students haven't had a background where they put on a production sale, and even if they have, they get to learn more about the ins and outs, just like I did. So then we have the bowl sale, which is the most exciting day at the beef unit, like I said, and that's where all of our hard work comes to fruition. It takes a village to put it on. My students put in a tremendous amount of hours and effort to get the bowls ready to where they're sale day ready. And I think consigners see that, and that's why they come back to us year after year. They also like the GrowSafe data that we get back. So it's really a fantastic day for us, and like I said, it's the most exciting day.
Awesome. Well, thank you for telling us about the program. And as a sophomore, I can back that up. Freshman year was incredible. The things that I learned, the things that I saw, the people that I met, all of the hands-on experience definitely is worth it, especially for a community college setting. So I'm very thankful for the program here.
Yeah, and you really took advantage of all the opportunities. You did the beef tour, and you made sure you got involved, and really students get more out of it if they put more into it.
All right, so what do you believe is the best part of your job?
The best part of my job, for sure, is being able to mentor students. I am so blessed to be in the role that I am in. I'm around these students all the time, especially spring semester, way more than I am around my own family. So we get really close just because of the time we spend with each other. So that truly is a blessing to be a mentor to my students. Hopefully every day I'm a good role model to them. I try really hard to be. Another really great thing is being able to work with the consigners. Last year we had 17, so there's a lot of opportunities to grow relationships, and this is now going into my 4th year working with consigners. I've built some really great relationships with almost all of them, so it's fun to have those relationships grow and flourish throughout the years, and just them entrusting us with our bulls is pretty special, and it's not to be taken lightly. They expect us to grow their bulls and have them look good so they can sell well on sale day, and students live up to that ownership. So it's just great to be able to have that opportunity and to work with students and consigners.
You've been kind of playing with the idea of creating a podcast for the beef program for a while, but particularly this year, what was your driving motivation to start it?
Sure. Yes, I have been playing with it for a long time. Beef advocacy is something that I am really passionate about. There's a lot of people out there telling our story for us who don't necessarily appreciate the beef industry or the agriculture industry. So I believe that us as members, as ranchers, need to step up and tell our story instead of having other people tell it for us, because we know why we're doing it, the things we do within the beef industry, why we do those things. And ultimately, if we're not taking care of our animals the best we can, we're not going to make a profit. So we want to treat our animals humanely. We want to treat our land right. I grew up in the soccer world, so from the time I was in second grade until I graduated with my master's, I was always involved in soccer. I never had a teammate that was involved in the agriculture industry, which was pretty special to me because it was eye-opening that I needed to be an advocate for the industry, and I had that opportunity to be. So there would be bus trips that I would stand at the front of the bus and tell them about the difference between bulls and heifers and why cows are so far away from the barn, that's okay, that's like their vacation kind of. Having the ability to have that experience with the soccer really opened my eyes that I needed to share our story with others, because just like my students with the Beef Advocacy Dinner that we host for student athletes on campus, I had always thought that my knowledge was common knowledge amongst the rest of the people outside of the agriculture industry, which is far from the truth and pretty ignorant of me to expect that. So I think I and students after the Beef Advocacy Dinner realized that they really do need to step up and share their story. So that is the main reason that I wanted to provide this opportunity to host a podcast, because it's a great way to share knowledge, share what we're doing within the beef production program, because we do a lot of really great and cool things that a lot of students don't get to experience in college. We're going to help advocate for our industry, but we're also going to hopefully promote our program. And I think the reason it started this year is because Kaylee is passionate about social media and marketing, and all the sophomores within the program get a management position. And so I have a bull sale manager, I have a feed and health manager, I have a calving manager, I have a marketing manager. So Kaylee here is our marketing manager, and she is going full force on it. And I'm so excited because I actually get to have the podcast this year. So I'm thankful for Kaylee for her willingness to want to do this podcast, because it is a lot of hard work, and it will take time, but I think it'll be great for the beef production program and great for Kaylee, because it is a passion of hers and could potentially lead down a different pathway for her.
Well, thank you for saying that. I am extremely passionate about it and very excited to see who I get to have on here as guest speakers and the connections that I'll make, and then what information we can get from guest speakers. So
Yeah.
that'll be really awesome to see who we have on here in the future.
Yep. Because we'll bring in other students from the beef production program who will talk about different tasks that we've done. And then we'll also bring in random students from campus and guests from the industry. It'll be really great. There'll be a lot of knowledge to share and a lot of advocacy talks.
Yeah, absolutely. And with those guest speakers, and I guess for our listeners, what kind of topics can they expect to hear from us about in the future?
The first one after this video, Kaylee will bring in Mara Katz for our freeze branding video. We just freeze branded our calves out at the college farm, so they'll come in and talk about that. And we'll talk about ultrasonography with pregnancy detection. We'll talk about the bull sale. We'll bring in some consigners, hopefully bring in a student athlete after the beef advocacy talk. There'll be a lot of really great topics. I won't give too much insight so I don't spoil anything, but we'll have some cool topics to discuss on here.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to see who I get to talk to and cover topics.
Yeah.
With that being said, what are you hoping to get out of our Heard It Here podcast?
Sure. I just want to bring some knowledge and light onto the beef industry of why we do what we do, and like I said, to promote the beef production program, because it really is a great program. I know I'm completely biased on that, but it is a great program, and I think students get to experience a lot and learn a lot, and they work their heinies off in this program. So I want to shed light on that because they are very deserving of it.
You've touched on the beef advocacy dinner, and you just briefly stated, we want to know our whys behind everything. And that's something that you really try to make students think about, is their whys about, their decisions and thinking about the bigger picture. And so what is your why? Like, what is your driving force to being a instructor and an advocate for the beef industry?
Sure. So I do ask my students this a lot, because I think if they can understand what their why is, it'll give them direction and a purpose in life. So if you don't know your why, you should try to think about it. My why is definitely to make my family proud, specifically my granddad and dad. My granddad unfortunately passed away a few years ago, but I still strive to make both of them proud. They are the ones who started me in this industry, and I just love this industry so much. It is so freeing. It makes me feel closer to God because of the work we do. It far exceeds our purpose. We are growing animals to feed not only our families, but our communities' families in the world. So we are truly blessed to have that opportunity. And not only that, but we get to do it with loved ones. This is one of the few industries that you actually get to work with your family members. I know some days that may be a little tough, but truly it is a blessing. And I hope someday that I get to experience that with my future family. And I've loved to grow up in that atmosphere. I believe that is why I'm so gritty and a hard worker, because of the experience, and I have good morals because of my parents' upbringing, and just being around the ranch, having to work hard, whether you want to do it or not. You're going to have to get out there and still feed cattle, still do calving checks no matter the temperature. And it's just a great industry. There are tremendous people in it who want to see you succeed. And if there is anything that happens, like a disaster, people in our industry are going to be there in a heartbeat. They're not even going to question it. And I think that's very special. And I'm blessed to be a part of it. I failed to ask you this beforehand, but I want you to give a brief overview of who you are and what your why is.
Sure. So, like I said before, I'm Kaylee Mason. I am a sophomore for the beef production program. I'm also getting my certificate in feedlot management. And like Adelaide said, I'm just trying to pack on everything I can while I'm here, because there are so many amazing opportunities and just skill sets that you can get here that can help you in any part of your life. So I'm definitely trying to get any knowledge that I can while I'm here. So my why is definitely my son. I've got a little 2-year-old, and like Adelaide had said, this is one of the few industries that you can have your family around. And that's definitely been proven to me in this last year as a freshman, and now going into my sophomore year, is my son is very well known throughout the school. If people don't know my name, they definitely know my son's name. And they're like, oh, you're so-and-so's mom. I won't even be angry about that.
Yeah, he's a cutie.
But definitely wanting to raise him in this industry because of the community and how he will learn things. He'll be outside. He'll get to play in God's creation and really come to appreciate all of the hard work that goes into it. I want him to grow up to be respectable and responsible and also become an advocate for this industry. Whether he wants to stay in beef or not, he will know that he needs to spread credible knowledge and speak up for himself and others. So right now, I'm getting as much knowledge as I can so that I can be a good role model for him and raise a good little boy. So that's kind of my why.
Yeah, you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about why you chose to come to Colby Community College and join the beef production program.
Yeah, so I actually had a couple other programs that I had my eye on. CSU has an agriculture program. LCCC has a program. There was one other one that kind of fit my needs and was a little closer to my family. It didn't have all the hands-on experiences that I was reading about, and this was before I ever contacted you on the phone. You were my top two. It was either CSU, because I have a sibling that went there, or here. And I decided I didn't really want to be in the big city anymore. I didn't think it was a good idea to raise my son in that area. And not that it is a bad area, it just wouldn't have fit what I was wanting to do. And so I contacted you, and I actually remember the day that I called you because I just felt stuck. I was like, I need to do something. My son is young. I feel like restless. Like I know that I have a direction that I need to go to, and obviously God is calling me to go back to school. And so I called you. We had a really great conversation about what this program includes and the kind of knowledge that I would be able to get from here and the type of careers that I could go right into. I remember my son was asleep in the car, and I was outside of the car because I didn't want to wake him up because I knew I was going to cry when I was talking to you. But I just remember after talking to you, I just had this fire in my heart that I knew was God telling me, yes, go to this school. You're going to benefit amazingly from it. This is where I want you to go. Listening to him was the best thing that I've done because the knowledge that I've gotten from here, and obviously every day we're going to learn something new. Even after I graduate, you should never stop learning. Mm-hmm. But I'm definitely excited about this year because now that it's kind of a repeat experience, obviously different experiences, but like the bull sale will be the second time doing it, second time calving, all of the feeding. Like freshman year, you're not as confident because you're learning all of the things, but now as a sophomore, you're kind of becoming the role model for the freshmen. And so you want to, represent yourself in the program in such a way that people will want to come here and continue that. So this program has really done a lot for me already and definitely made me bloom as a person. And so I'm just super grateful for you. And like you said earlier, you hope that you're a role model. Well, I don't hope that you are. Like, I know that you are because just the way that you carry yourself, like that's how I want to carry myself, and other people look at me too. So it's really nice to have a mentor and a friend and an instructor. Like a 3-in-1 is just, it's awesome and really makes me want to be here. And you should want to be in an environment where you want to learn and you actually absorb everything that's around you. So
yeah, wow, thanks.
All right, Adelaide. Well, thank you so much for joining me here on Heard It Here for our very first episode. I think our listeners will agree that you are an amazing asset to the college and the students. So we really thank you for being an instructor here and teaching us everything.
Of course. Thank you.
Yes. So to our listeners, thank you for checking out our very first episode. And next time as Adelaide said, we'll be talking about brands and freeze branding and the kind of methods and what goes into that. So be on the lookout for that. I am Kaylee Mason, and that is all for today's gathering of Heard It Here. We hope we are going to beef up your knowledge in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you guys.